All weight gain is it's your body's way of saving your life. What? How can that be? Like, you look in the mirror and you're like, there is no way this extra weight is saving my life. In fact, it's destroying my life. That's not true.
Preview.
Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I have a whole new fasting protocol for you guys on losing weight. And I know many of you in the last year of the pandemic have put on extra weight, so I'm going to give you my best weight loss tips in this video. So I'm really excited to bring it to you. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please hit subscribe and hit the notification button. Every Thursday I come live to you to answer your Q&A. And if you're not familiar with my work and my channel, I am on a mission to get 1 million people fasting this year so that we can stop chronic disease, we can get people immune strong, and we can give you the health back. So welcome, and those of you that share my videos, I love you, I love your comments, and I love being on this mission with you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Here we go. 4 major things I have to tell you about weight loss and fasting. So the first, if you watch my videos, just to kind of clue you in on how I put these together, I want to always start with the philosophy or the reasoning behind the protocols that I give you. Because if I just say, hey, this is the fast you do and you'll lose weight, you have no idea why that worked or how to reproduce it another time. So I like to really give you the paradigm in which I'm looking at this from and then give you the specifics. So here's the paradigm of weight gain that if you're not aware of this, it's time to be aware of it. All weight gain is it's your body's way of saving your life. What? How can that be? Like, you look in the mirror and you're like, there is no way this extra weight is saving my life. In fact, it's destroying my life. That's not true, because your body is so brilliantly designed that when it has excess hormones, excess toxic estrogen, excess glucose, excess insulin, cortisol, when it has this excess, it has 2 options. It can store that excess in your internal organs, which would destroy those internal organs, or it can create another substance to store it in, and it stores it in fat. And so instead of putting that fat around your organs, which it does sometimes, it typically will put it in fat around your belly, your hips, everywhere, right? So stop villainizing fat and then stop and go, okay, this is just excess stores. So second thing that I want to say is now we have some really strategic ways of getting at this excess. And there's a couple of key terms I want you to know. So excess glucose is called glycogen. And glycogen stores, your body will actually store glycogen again in fat. It stores it in skeletal muscles. It also stores it in the liver because the body's so well designed that it's like, if I have too much sugar right now, I'm going to put that away for a rainy day because there may be a moment that I need that extra sugar. So when we are fasting, what you're doing is you're telling the body, hey, today's the rainy day. I need you to go get that extra sugar that you have stored. So there are several ways to tap into glycogen stores, and this is in all the different parts of the body, but the main areas that you will store glycogen are in the liver, in fat, and in muscles. So here's a couple of ways you can tap in. One is you want to spend about 80% of your time in autophagy. So this is why we love to fast. So when you're fasting 17 hours or more, that you're now stimulating the intelligence inside the cell to repair itself, but also you're asking to burn that excess. So you want about 80% of your week or your day, however you want to look at this, spent in autophagy. But then on the flip side of that, if we want to go after the stored glycogen that's in muscle, we actually want to build more muscle. So you want to spend about 20% of your time in mTOR. mTOR is building muscle up. So the first thing that you want to say is, how many hours am I fasting every day? And when I am I eating smart food that will build up muscle? And protein is your best source for being able to build muscle up. So A typical day for fat burning would be 17 hours of fasting, followed by a high protein, low carb, moderate fat type diet. Because now you're feeding your mTOR and you're building muscle up. You're not replenishing those glycogen stores by eating too many carbs. And the fat is actually helping you kill the hunger hormone. So that's a little trick that I really want to emphasize on a daily basis. Okay, another real trick. You are going to store the most extra glucose when you sleep. So you know who knows how to do this really well? Are sumo wrestlers. So one of the ways that sumo wrestlers gain weight, or they want to gain weight, it's part of their sport, is they eat a big carbohydrate meal and then they go to sleep. And when they go to sleep, the body goes, okay, we're sleeping now, so I'm going to go take all this glucose and we're going to put it in fat, we're going to put it in the liver, we're going to put it in muscle. And that's one of the strategies, I guess, to be a good sumo wrestler. We don't want to be sumo wrestlers, so let's do the opposite, which means that 3 hours before bedtime, you want to make sure that you have stopped eating. And this is stopped eating everything. So if you go to bed at 9, the last thing that goes in your mouth should be at 6 o'clock. That gives you 3 hours before you go to bed, and your body has processed that glucose and it won't store it while you sleep. Okay, next tip for fasting is that you want to eat your carbs in the morning and your protein in the afternoon. Now, this is a little different twist than we've talked about in a long time, and I want to emphasize something to you. You are the most insulin sensitive in the morning. So if you have been fasting for a while and you're struggling to lose weight, what if you flipped your intermittent fasting schedule upside down and you ate from 8 in the morning till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was your eating window, and then after 3 started your fasting window. So what a lot of people do in the fasting world is they skip breakfast. What if you skip dinner? And you have for breakfast, I know it's a new concept, you have nature's carbs, a carbohydrate-rich meal like a smoothie, maybe with fruit. And then after that meal, you have protein the rest of the time until you shut your eating window down. Try it. It's a really different flip. And those of you that are stuck losing weight, it's an incredible twist. Okay, the third thing that I want to bring to your attention is there are ways to go after the glycogen stores in your muscles. And it's called exercise. Now, I know if you're like, well, I don't like to exercise, or I have been exercising, I'm still not losing weight. Not all exercise is made the same. Just like not all fasts are the same. Just like not all food is the same. Not all exercise is the same. If you want to go after those glycogen stores that are hiding out in the muscle, if you want that definition in the arm so you can look great in your tank top for summertime, you are going to need to do 2 specific types of exercise. One is HIIT training, where you get your heart rate up and down. Those of you in our academy, I'm doing this with you guys every Saturday morning, a 20-minute HIIT workout where you're bringing your heart rate up and down in a matter of seconds. We do typically 45 seconds of a hard workout, followed by 15 seconds of rest, and then we go back to 45 seconds. We do that in a 20-minute period. The second way that you can go after the glycogen stores in the muscle so you can get more definition is strength training. So women, those of you in menopause or going through menopause, it is time to move from cardio to strength training. You need those muscles to keep yourself strong as you go through the menopause experience. So start lifting more weights and start to build more muscle, and that's going to help you deplete the glycogen stores that are in skeletal tissue. So remember, the 3 biggest places to store glycogen is as fat, liver, and muscle. Beyond that, it starts to actually store it in the eyes, which is why you tend to see diabetics who lose vision. So we want to catch it before it goes into those other places, and those are 2 of my favorite exercises. Last thing I want to tell you, those of you, when we're talking about pandemic weight, I want you to remind yourself that the last year has been stressful, and we've got to have some mechanisms for completing the stress cycle. It's time for us all to come out of stress. But just because the world might be opening up in your area doesn't mean that your body thinks that it's okay to not be stressed. Your body may still think it's running from the tiger, which is going to unfortunately make it difficult to lose the pandemic weight. So let's complete the stress cycle. And there is a wonderful book called Burnout by Emily and AMELIA Nagoski. I brought both of them onto my podcast, so you can go check out the Resetter podcast. But they have a concept where you need to use things like movement, so walking forward, laughter, singing, chanting. She has a whole long list of ways to tell your neurology, it's okay, body, the stress is over. And she calls it completing the stress cycle. So I'll leave a link to those podcasts. You can check out her book called Burnout. But it's a fourth concept that if you're struggling to lose weight, we need to think about. But it is time, if you have been telling yourself, oh, quarantine's been exhausting, I'm stressed, I'll deal with weight later. These are my favorite hacks. And if you guys have been trying to lose weight using fasting and you're stuck, these are my favorite hacks. So give them a whirl. Let me know how they work for you. If you want more information on this, this is the kind of stuff I'm teaching in my academy. Just put Reset Academy and you can join me over there. But don't give up on yourself. Your body is brilliant. You just need to know how to take amazing care of it. Hope it helps.